Her research has found that only 40% of the time will the rank and file actually follow a leader in the change that the leader wants to implement. So in other words, they're only willing to change about 40% of the time. The leader, on the other hand, is willing to change around 75% of the time. So there's this huge gap between what the leader is willing or wants to do and what those on the front line are actually willing to follow that leader to accomplish, which is something that most leaders, I don't think, really understand.
Well, and as we were been chatting about this, I had two thoughts. One, as a member of a leadership team, I have always ended up being paired up with very visionary leaders, and I am more of an operator. So it's typically a good, often it's a good blend. You need both. But it makes me think, well, of course they're not recognizing it because they're visionary. You know, I work with owners all the time. You work with owners all the time. You are an owner, have been an owner. But as we're processing this, I'm like, well, yeah, they wouldn't, they don't even know to think otherwise, because as a visionary, you're constantly looking for the next thing. And then even as a leader myself at different times, this is probably, there's a ton of hubris in this statement, but like, well, of course they're going to follow me. I'm a good leader.
That's their job.
Yeah.
Their job is to follow me.
And I have no idea if I was actually a good leader. I'm not implying that, but there's that level of either you think you're supposed to be that confident or you are that confident. And so it wouldn't, and if you trust that you got a good team around you, well, of course we're going to do this. So anyway, it just makes me giggle. This recognition of, you don't even, oftentimes as leaders, we don't even think that such a gap could exist. It's just, to me, that was a huge aha in our discussions prior to this conversation.
And going to your idea that as a leader, you believe that the people are going to follow you, that's an assumption that's inherent in leadership.
Yeah.
You say, I'm leading, this is where we're going, and not only do I expect you to follow, but I believe that you're going to follow.
Yeah.
And that we're going to head in that direction. But the truth is, and we brought this up on previous podcasts, where, you get this bell curve distribution and you have, 20% who say, yep, tell me how high to jump and I'll jump. And you got 20% that say, I'm never going anywhere you want to go. It's that middle 60%, and which corresponds exactly to the 40%, right? Yeah. That says, yep, I'm not really sure if I should or shouldn't go here. I don't know that I really want to go where you want to go. But this leads to a very interesting behavior, because on the one hand, the leader is saying, I'm expecting everyone to follow me. And those that are being led are saying, I don't really want to go, but I can't really show my cards. I can't really tell the leader I don't want to go. So what kind of behavior does that lead to?
Nothing. Nothing happens. There is no behavior.
Well, what's interesting is that you think about this from me, like, I can't actively resist, because that would be obvious. Yeah, I just slow roll it. Yeah, I just passively aggressively resist it. So in this sense, I just look for ways not to move very quickly.
Yeah.
I look for ways to let regulations get in the way, or I look for ways to, just not get things done that need to be done.
Or because they are a visionary, it's the flavor of the month. And so I'm just going to wait it out till the next idea pops up.
Right, yeah, exactly. And hence, if you've seen that movie enough times, then you're like, okay, if I can just slow this down enough, then eventually we're going to lose interest in this. We're going to lose focus on this, and it's going to head someplace else. In fact, we are just seeing this happen with a client of ours, aren't we?
Yep,
where
we were
they set some goals. They set some goals, and they were great goals, and they started rambunctiously down that path, and then it just kind of slowed down, and now they're off onto new things. But it was interesting, because after about 3 months, I started to hear from the CEO and concerns from the leadership, concerns from the front line, like, oh, should we be doing this? Should we be doing this? And I said to the CEO, do you still like your reasons for doing this? And she said, yes, we need to. Why is it being slowed down? Well, we're running into roadblocks and concerns. And I'm like, where are the roadblocks coming from? Well, some of them are coming from my team. Why? Well, they don't know if it's the right thing or we want to do it. And now all of a sudden we're off on a new thing, right? And again, it just looks like the team said to themselves, well, if we just slow this down, something else will take its place.
Yeah, and the grit to keep pushing this recognition that grit's the best word I can think of, but that commitment to stay strong to the process